Hi, Blake Winters, Professional EOS Implementer, continuing to explore this Success.co software platform used for companies that are running on EOS to get all that EOS truly has to offer, the traction and getting what they want from their business, means that you got to do the same things that we talk about in the quarterlies and the annuals every single week. And one thing about this platform that I found really, really cool was what they call their Integrator hub. So imagine you're the integrator of an entrepreneurial organization, and your job is to ensure that the whole organization is running the way that it needs to run, and that the leadership team is operating as a cohesive, effective unit. And you also need to have a pulse on how each department is working. Now, for an organization that's 6 to 10 people, maybe you know everyone, you're seeing them on a day-to-day basis, and you have a good pulse of how everything is operating. Scale that up a little bit. Think about an organization that's maybe 50, 100, 250, maybe upwards of 500 plus employees. Keeping a pulse on how all the departments and all the sub-teams within those departments are operating becomes a real challenge. And I think that that gets solved really, really well with this Integrator hub, which essentially gives an integrator a quick dashboard view of how the entire organization is operating. So I want to talk you through some of what's available on this dashboard here. At the top, you'll see that you have the average health. So average health is simply how many people do we have in the organization and how many people are actively using the platform. If we're going to go ahead and use Success.co as our platform, then we need all the people in our organization to be utilizing this tool. Also, meetings are an absolutely critical component to any business's success. We can quickly see here at the top, what's our average meeting rating? Are we at 8 or above? Are we looking like 9s and 10s, knowing that everyone's having effective meetings? Or in this example, are we somewhere closer to 6, which probably warrants people need to be taught how to have those great meetings again. And then we need to manage and ensure that they are doing these things appropriately to see that score increase. Down here, what you're going to see is you're going to see on a team-by-team basis your team's health, how many meetings they're having, what the scores of those meetings are, how many to-dos they're adding, how many to-dos they're completing, because if we're just adding a bunch of to-dos but we're not completing our to-dos, well, that's a cause for concern and probably requires some further investigation. We can also quickly see our ROCs. Are our ROCs on track? Are they mostly off track? If they're mostly off track, again, that probably warrants further investigation to figure out what's going on. We can see if our measurables are all on track. If maybe one's off track, maybe that's not a reason to sound the alarms. But if 4 of our measurables are off track in any given week, maybe, again, that requires further investigation. So this gives the ability for an integrator at any point in time to come in here, get a pulse on how the entire team is performing. That way they know where to go spend their time, where to go manage a little bit closer, where to go input their expertise in order to get things turned around. Or maybe a team is doing really great. All their to-dos are being completed. They're adding a bunch of great to-dos. Their ROCs are on track. And we know that team's doing great, and it's time to go celebrate their successes. Another thing here is we can see issues. As any great integrator would tell you, if a team doesn't have issues, that is a major issue. So you want to be sure that your team has active issues, that they're actively solving, which means that everyone on the team feels comfortable to raise their hand, call out those issues. That way we can work together to get them resolved and move forward. If a team has 0 issues at any point in time, again, probably a red flag for any integrator out there to say, I need to go investigate a little bit deeper and figure out what's going on. So this is the Integrator dashboard, Integrator hub on the Success.co platform, a very, very useful visual tool for integrators out there that are trying to do a very, very tough job of keeping their pulse on an entire organization.